All right, now right off rip, we gotta talk about the fact that you can open and close all 4 doors in this SUV, just like you can the Escalade V, in which I talked about in my 5-minute review and what it's like living with. But what makes the IQ better than the Escalade V, in my opinion, in this regard, is the fact that you can also do it from the second row as well, because you got your very own center console infotainment screen back there too. But get this, outside, just like the Escalade V, you can press a button to open your door and the door will open electronically. But you can also do it from just getting inside the car, because y'all told me this on the Escalade V and what it's like living with, because I complained about this. Through the infotainment screen in the settings, you can also activate the fact that you can put your foot on the brake, just like the BMW i7 M70 that I reviewed. You can put your foot on the brake and close that door electronically without having to flip that switch or going through it on your center console infotainment screen as well, which I thought was legendary. So I had to talk about that again, and I appreciate y'all letting me know that in the Escalade V, because sometimes, even though I review cars, I miss some things sometimes, baby. Work with me. Now, the next thing that I really like about this IQ is the fact that you can both open and close the front and rear trunk without ever leaving the SUV. But that's not all. If you ever use the rear trunk to full capacity, you can use the front trunk because it has just as much practicality in the front as well. And since this was built on the same platform as the Hummer EV3, which I also reviewed in the 5-minute format and what it's like living with, make sure you check those videos out when you're done with this one. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up as you're watching it, because what I'm about to mention next is ultra legendary. GM Cadillac put a tray that retracts in and out the front trunk. In case you're not tall like me or got long arms like me and you store stuff in there, you ain't gotta jump all on top of the SUV just to get the stuff out the back of the front trunk. You can literally have that table retract in and out for easy accessibility, which I thought was super dope and practical and really thoughtful. So I gotta get that one a like for sure. Now, there's no way I could talk about the things I like without talking about the things I love. And I absolutely love the fact that the engineers at GM Cadillac was able to pull off the fact that they got an SUV that's this massive, chunky monkey sitting up like the Gravedigger Tonka truck, monster truck, and gets 460 miles of pure electric range. I'm getting my words tangled up. 460 miles? That's top tier. I haven't had to fill this SUV up once since Cadillac dropped it off at my house. That's top tier, and that's worth mentioning as a love. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's impressive. Now, just like I talked about in the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, which I also reviewed in the 5-minute format and what it's like living with, make sure y'all check it out when you're done with this one. This Super Cruise, since that car, I have tested the Super Cruise every single damn time, and I am thoroughly impressed. I don't gotta shake the wheel every 20, 30 seconds. This car just does its job and does what the title says, driving assist. This joint might as well say self-driving, because it's better than driver assist. It's self-driving, man. That joint will literally change lanes for you, stay straight for you, brake for you, speed up for you. In even LA congested traffic, which I'm in 24/7, 7 days a week, all day, every day. So I have to give Super Cruise that salute to that, man, because GM Cadillac, y'all have killed that. I absolutely love the Super Cruise, and it is now my #1 favorite in the entire world of driver assistance or self-driving. Y'all a game changer with that. So not only is this SUV practical, looks really good, super comfortable when driving. You got massaging seats with 5 different types of massages, 3 different levels of intensity for both front seat passengers and both second row passengers. And you can adjust the front passenger seat from the back seat to get more extension and leg room. So, man, listen, you get chauffeured in here with desk in the leather wrapped armrest. I'm getting too excited. Let me slow down and relax. So come on, take a deep breath. Most people would say, man, I'm gonna pick the Escalade V all day, every day over the Escalade IQ. I'm not so certain that'd be the smartest decision, because there's pros and cons to both. There's some that make the IQ better than the Escalade V, and there's some that make the V better than the Escalade IQ. And I'm gonna start with the first one. This one has just as good a performance as the Escalade V, relatively speaking, give or take. Granted, fun is all relative and it's all in the eye of the beholder, man. But we do see that you got a V on this steering wheel, just like you do in the Escalade V, and that's something you activate to get all the bells and whistles out of that thing performance-wise. And this one is no different. You got 750 horsepower and 785 pound-feet of torque, give you a 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. Now the Escalade V, if I'm not mistaken, it ain't been that long since I had it, is a 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, but I could be wrong. So I'm just throwing it out there now as a disclaimer, because y'all can't always wait to tell me when I'm wrong about something, man. But get this, in the Escalade IQ, you get 460 miles of pure range, like I said, whereas in the Escalade Escalade V, you only get about 200 miles per full tank of gasoline. That's worth considering. I would pick the Escalade IQ over the Escalade V, and that's crazy. But if I'm talking about practicality and a long-term understanding, I love that you get 460 miles of range in this joint, whereas the Escalade V, you at the gas station every 2 seconds of that thing. And yes, it's a lot of fun. On just the performance side, I wouldn't pick it over performance of the Escalade V, but I do have to say I love the fact that this joint get that much range, it's this comfortable, offers all this tech, and I love the fact that you can close the doors from inside the car from the second row, unlike the Escalade V. And I love the presence in the aura of the Escalade IQ over the Escalade V. The Escalade V is dope, it's cool, and you gotta be a car enthusiast to really understand and appreciate that to the highest magnitude to get that performance out of that kind of gas combustion, massive SUV. But if I'm talking about just on the pull-up-ery, I think that the Escalade IQ looks better than the Escalade V. From the headlights to the grille to the illumination, the door, everything. I think it just looks more sleek, it looks more modern, it looks more futuristic. But even in the interior, I think the interior is better in the Escalade IQ than it is in the Escalade V. But you just can't replace that snap, crackle, and pop. That snap, crackle, and pop just goes. But I do rock with it, but if I personally had to choose, and I know that sounds crazy because I never thought I'd pick an electric SUV over an Escalade V, which is wild. But that is also a testament to how good Cadillac and GM put this Escalade IQ together. But if I had a family, now here's where it gets different. If I had a family and I really had to utilize that third row and second row all the time, it's just me and my wife. So for me and my wife, I would pick this over the Escalade V as far as everyday usage. But if I had a family and I was really using that second row and third row a lot, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would pick the Escalade V over this one because I don't like the fact that you gotta like cram your way into the third row. The second row seats are only power adjusted, you can't collapse them. There's a lot of stuff that you just can't do with them joints. It's only power up and backwards, and there's no practicality in that third row, to be honest. It's better in the Escalade V, so that's the only way I pick it over that. But I'm sorry for the long rant. I got a little passionate about it. Let's go to the next thing. Now here's where the Escalade IQ is better than the Escalade V, in my opinion, and nobody can debate me on this. The Hummer EV3 had the crab walk, right? The rear wheels turn just like the front one, so it makes it super easy to get these big SUVs out of a tight spot or to bust a quick U-turn or something like that. And this joint is no different since it's built on the same platform. The Escalade V don't got rear wheel turning, if I remember correctly. So the Escalade IQ, as far as practicality and everyday drivability goes, and fitting in the tight spots and being able to U-turn, the Escalade IQ wins that every single time. Because you could literally bust a U-turn whenever you want, however you want, wherever you want up in this joint. The only other thing that I would say like really has like that kind of same modern design under the GM Cadillac umbrella is gonna be the Lyric. And I really love the way the Lyric look, and I also reviewed that in the 5-minute format as well. So make sure you check that video out when you're done with this one. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you made this far into the video and still haven't done that. Make sure you get that thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But the Lyric is legendary, and I think if somebody was to ask me about the Cadillac Escalade IQ, and I'd be like, and they was like, hey man, what is that joint really like? And to simplify everything and keep it short and sweet, I'd be like, have you ever experienced the Lyric? They'd be like, yeah, just hypothetically. And I'd be like, it's just like that. It's just a big brother of the Cadillac Lyric. I mean, it has the same grille, type futuristic design, modern, electric, has the same tech, comfort, everyday drivability is comfortable. I mean, it has all the same things. It's just kind of on steroids when you get to the Escalade IQ. Now, next up, let's talk about this luxurious interior, because GM did they thing when they made this joint. I mean, you even got like, usually in the Escalade V, you had a carbon fiber on the dash, door panels, and different things like that. On this one, you got like this Dune 2, this I'm gonna call it Dune 3, gold sawdust in the door panel, and it's stretched across the entire dash, and it looks really good when the light is hitting it in a crazy way. But you also got Alcantara wrapped roof liner, Alcantara sun visors with an all glass set panoramic roof in that thing that's UV protected and tinted, so you ain't never hotboxing this joint, whether you're in the front seat, second row, or third row. And let's not even talk about the premiumness of this leather material all over the door panels, dash, and even on your center armrest in both the second row and front row. And the only thing that can make these seats look better is your Barrett's Automotive pristine leather conditioner. So make sure you click that link below in the description and get yours now. But this interior in just total is just luxurious to me. It may not be to some, but it is to me, so I had to mention that as a like for sure. So in 2025, we have to talk about the tech in a car or SUV, because a lot of it, especially in EVs, have a lot of tech, and this one is no different. You got a center console infotainment screen, a second row center console infotainment screen for your backseat passengers, and if you want to see all the features and everything that I talk about in detail what that infotainment screen offers, make sure you watch my 5-minute Escalade IQ review to get everything in that video. But you also got your digital gauge clutch that can be reconfigured, you got night vision, different things like that, but then you also got a heads-up display, and you even got a TV with another screen integrated in your 55-inch curved infotainment screen. That alone, in tech-wise, is super impressive. A 55-inch curved infotainment screen. Usually, most people don't even got a 55-inch TV in their home. You got one in this SUV, which is legendary, so I had to mention that in 2025, especially since it's an EV SUV. Come on, man. I love when a car SUV just pays attention to the small things. We know this thing has the big things done right, but sometimes when you get into these cars that are really expensive, they do the big things right and the small things wrong. So these sun visors, they're already wrapped in Alcantara, but they also detach and extend, and they block out all of the sun when you extend that joint all the way over here. And that, to me, shows that you're paying attention to little details, because you'd be surprised how many cars and SUVs I get in that don't do that, and they have a big old gap right here and the sun just beaming through and then burning your retina pupil. You know what I'm saying? So I have to mention the sun visors are massive, they detach, and they extend, and they block out all the sun. And I always pay attention to what it's like living with any car or SUV for that matter. Now, this is always tricky when trying to do a car view and tell y'all how good a sound system is in the car. So you always just have to take a car view person's word for it, right? And this one has an AKG 36 speaker sound system. And I promise you, it will blow your toupee and socks off all at the same time. Pause. But get this, you even got an option to get a 40 speaker AKG sound system, but I don't even think it's necessary, to be honest. But if you want to go OD and have that joint just full top of the mook, I would get the 40 speaker AKG sound system for sure, me personally. Because if this 36 speaker AKG sound system sounds this good, I can only imagine what that 40 speaker sounding like. So I've talked about some likes, I've talked about some loves. Now let's talk about a dislike. Actually, this might even be closer to a hate, and it's getting in and out of the third row of this SUV. Now, I love how comfortable the second row is for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier in the video, but the comfort in the third row is there, but getting in and out the third row is a super annoying challenge, because the second row seat can only be scooted forward and backwards through an electronic motorized button, and it's slow, and I mean dumb slow. You know, you gotta really wait there. And the opening to get in and out is so small, whether you're inside the car or outside the car, and especially at my height of 6'10". So yeah, I gotta mention that's a hate. I ain't gonna lie, that's that one. But I don't know how they could go around that. I have no critiques on how I can say you can make those second row seats just as comfortable while also making the seat be able to collapse. I don't know, but I'm telling you, there has to be a way, because that just ain't it. Now this next thing is a like and it's a dislike. And it's gonna have to be this all-glass panoramic set roof, which is legendary in design. Modern, futuristic, I'm rocking with it. I wouldn't change it for the world. So what am I talking about then, y'all? What am I getting to? What am I trying to display for y'all to digest? Well, it's the fact that you see the sun right here coming in and interrupting and disrespecting my video, which I love, because I'm grateful to see another day, sunny day. Thank you, God, for all of us to be able to wake up and have an attitude of gratitude to even be able to see that sun, because that in itself is a blessing. But sometimes, as much as that's a blessing, I don't want the sun beaming on me. Like, although, since I've had this SUV for the last week, not one time have I had a complaint about too much sun getting in or it's too hot coming from the top of the roof, because it's UV protected and it's tinted. But sometimes I just don't, like, it could be a nice sunny day out like it is today. Beautiful, blessings, right? But sometimes internally, I'm not feeling like I want to see the sun like that. Maybe I want tinted windows, maybe I'd have all these tinted, and then I want that one to kind of just be, come on, man, I'm trying to, have a rainy day today internally, because maybe I'm not feeling the best, so I don't want the sun beaming on me today. I should be able to have the option to close that, or just press a button up here to just block out the sun and have it just be completely blacked out. Or maybe I got kids sleeping in the second row or third row, and maybe I just wanted to be blacked out curtains up in here so that way everybody can get some rest, and maybe I don't want the glare on the TVs, even though you can tilt the TVs both forward and backwards in the second row, which is legendary. Just something to think about, you know what I mean? And I think for $150,000, I should be able to press a button and just black out this roof. It shouldn't always be set like that. Maybe go a little darker gray or blacked out or something. I don't know. With the tech in 2025, that's y'all job, not mine. Come on, man, work with me. Now, while speaking on the all-glass set panoramic roof and talking about how I wish I could black it out or shade it out even more than it already is, which, like I said, is legendary design, I kind of feel the same way about the second row windows, right? Because in most SUVs, especially third row SUVs, you get those shade shutters that most people never use and hook up there, but But I've learned that I really like those. At first, I used to think they were kind of pointless and useless in my earlier years, but as I'm getting older, that's crazy. As I'm getting older, I'm kind of like, I like them shade shutters, you know what I mean? And so now when an SUV don't got the shade shutters, I complain about not having it. So I guess it's at different points in your life where you value something whereas you don't, or you can appreciate something more than you did when you were younger. And shade shutters are that for me now. Although I do wish the shade shutters were a little darker in some SUVs and cars, maybe it's a safety thing, who knows? But I do wish this joint has shade shutters because a lot of times you have your kids back there or they're in a car seat and you know, you want to just naturally have those. And then if you want to add something to keep the kids asleep or different things like that, that's just something to note and, you know, worth thinking about, you know what I mean? And this joint don't have no shade shutters in the third row, second row, and you got this joint that's just wide open all the time. So when it comes to everyday drivability and you having kids and practicality, I don't know if that would be the most practical or the most thoughtful, you know, or insightful for the people that have kids and they're gonna be in a car seat or something like that. But y'all would know better than me. Get active in the chat and let me know what y'all think. Now this next thing, y'all already know it's gonna be a complaint of mine if you're an avid watcher of my car reviews and what it's like living with videos. And it's the fact that this joint does not have real memory seats. But get this is legendary. Even though they're not real memory seats, you got memory seats for the second row passengers as well that you can access through your second row infotainment screen in your center console, which I thought was super dope. But let's get back to the fact that they're not real memory seats. Real memory seats, I should be able to press 1 or 2 or wherever that memory seat button is, and then the seat should just do the rest. Just press, seat do the rest. But if I gotta press and hold, which I do have to do with this, even the infotainment screen lets you know you gotta press and hold, that's not real memory seats to me. I mean, I can just do the seat adjustments every single time if that's the case. I don't wanna press and hold nothing. Press and go, not press and hold, baby. This next thing is a small thing, but it is still a thing and it is a dislike. It's gonna have to be the key fob for this SUV. This SUV is so legendary, has so much tech, is so luxurious, and it's just such a special SUV in my opinion. For it to have such a weak and bland key fob is just a dislike for me. It just does not do this car service. And I think a key fob should always represent your vehicle, whether you're around your vehicle or not. I think you should be able to pull out that key fob and that should say a lot about your whip and the price tag in which it has. This is food equivalent of having no sodium, no seasoning. Like this joint is just bland. And the price tag for this car being at $150,000 with all the bells and whistles does not match that key fob that they give you for the Escalade IQ, so I just got to mention that as a dislike. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much everything your boy got to talk about when it comes to that brand new, spanking, stankin' new 2025 Escalade IQ. I really rock with this joint. If y'all rock with this video just as much as I rock with this whip and I rock with y'all, make sure y'all subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you go click y'all Barrett's Automotive link below in the description and get all your Barrett's Automotive car wash products because they are just as top of the move as this whip, just like our car reviews. And speaking of our car reviews, we got a lot more bangers coming y'all way, so make sure y'all stay tuned for everything. You did.